What's going on, you guys? Today, this is going to be what's called we're continuing with the laws of exponents. We have two laws to go. The one we're going to do today is called the quotient rule. This is part one. Just like the others, I'm going to give you a rule. I'm going to show you a little bit today why it works. I'm going to do a couple of examples. And then you'll have an assignment on Google Classroom. But again, this is called the quotient rule. Because it's called the quotient rule, if you understand or you realize what a quotient is all about, that means we're working with division. And what the quotient rule says that when you're dividing with the same base, so say for instance we have a to the x divided by a to the y, that is the same thing as saying a to the x minus y. So again, if your bases are the same and you're dividing, it's saying that you can just keep the base and subtract the exponents. Another way you could see this, or another way, the way we actually want to write this, is a to the x over a to the y equals a to the x minus y. This is still division. It's just written as a fraction. You'll see it both ways. I'll show you today writing it, taking it from this to this in one of the examples when I show you how this works. I'm going to do a couple examples on the board that'll be exactly what you'll have to do, and just a few problems that you'll do in your assignment today on Google Classroom. So let's look at an example using the quotient rule, or why the quotient rule works. Let's start with something real simple. Say for instance we are given 3 to the 4th power divided by 3 to the 2nd power. Now the first step I want to do is I don't like the division written like this, so I'm going to switch that to 3 to the 4th power over 3 to the 2nd power. So the first thing you should always do to help you with this, if you just can't realize it right off the bat, is do it like this. Write it like this: 3 to the 4th over 3 to the 2nd. The reason I'm doing that today in this first part is to show you actually how this works. Because we did this, if we use the expanded form and we bring this down, we can write 3 to the 4th over 3 squared as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 over 3 times 3. Now, all we've done is written this all the way out, but this is going to show us why the quotient rule works. So, what we would do right here is, if we look at, we should know that whenever we have a 3 over a 3 in a fraction, or any number that's the same, we can cancel those out. And that makes those just become 1. That leaves us with just 1. We get to mark out both also. That leaves us with 3 times 3 over 1, which is the same as 3 to the 2nd power. Well, if you go back and look where we started, 3 to the 4th over 3 squared, we get 3 to the 2nd power. That just shows us why our quotient rule works, that we could just say what we could have easily done there, because we got 3 to the 2nd power as our answer. We could just say 3 to the 4th power minus 2, because our bases are the same, we're just subtracting, we still get 3 to the 2nd power. So that's one example. I'm going to do one more example for you. That's as tough as anything's going to be today. We'll talk about the quotient rule some more on Wednesday, but let's just say, for instance, we have, so our first step is we're given the problem, let's use 5. And we're just simplifying today. 5 to the 7th divided by 5 to the 3rd. Because we showed that if we were writing this over the top, all you want to do is rewrite this, because the bases are the same. So they have the same base. We're going to keep the base and subtract the exponents. That gives us 5 to the 4th. Today, all we're doing is simplifying. We're not evaluating all the way out to a number. You could even come up with something that was a negative exponent. I'll do one of those really quickly just to show you what you should do. So if you're simplifying, let's say you had 2, this marker, I thought it had another day in it, 2 to the 9th divided by 2 to the 11th. That would be 2 to the 9 minus 11. Now we know that we keep the base and subtract the exponents. So 9 minus 11 is a negative 2. But we cannot have negative exponents. So we write that using the negative exponent rule as 1 over 2 to the 2nd power. Now we're not evaluating here, we're just simplifying. But remember, no negative exponents. You will have one today in the assignment. Remember, no negative exponents. You want to use the negative exponent rule and write that as 1 over. That's it for today. I'm going to post one other video besides mine. I hope that helps you. Today's assignment should be really easy for you to get through. If you have any questions, just contact me.